I know you probably told the story a million times, but can you tell us, just hit us with those memories of the first times that you linked up with Screw and what it was like going into that atmosphere, and where were you as a rapper before you got introduced to that?
As a rapper before, I put
Before you met Screw?
Yeah, I had put an album, I put a group album out, which was Gorilla Mob. But what happened was Screw ended up getting a hold of the music, and the thing back then, bigger than radio, bigger than anything.
Tapes.
If you ever made it on Screw, even if you didn't make it on there with a freestyle, if your song made it on there. Like the tapes were so important and vital to our culture. We didn't have track listings, you didn't have none of that. You just get the tape. Once you hit play, what you get is what you get. And never forget, once the first time we been on there, the first time he put us on there, he actually reached out and he would come pull up on us because he had relationships amongst all of us on his own. But that definitely changed because throughout the city of Houston, you don't know who it is. You don't know the artist or the name, but you may know that song. And then when people start putting the name with the face, it started growing you. And Screw was probably one of the most genuine people you'll meet. Laid back, quiet, cool, just had a real big heart, And that's why even as homies, as brothers, you give and take from your people. Like, I don't know if you're around somebody every day, you may pick up something from them or they may pick up something from you. And I always had the heart, but also being around him and the love we had, it only enhanced the love that I have for the people, you know what I'm saying? Because he's one of the people that like to reach out and touch the people and just chill, he just genuinely wants to see people make it.
Right.
And that's the same note I'm on.
And was that weird going into that environment where there's a lot of smoking and drinking and everything being done? And were you not into that even at that time?
No, I ain't never smoked a drink.
You never felt tempted?
No, it didn't, but it didn't bother me, you know what I'm saying? And the good thing, like I say about me, I've always been accepted for me. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, you got to think, bringing your child on No Jumper or Breakfast Club, probably wouldn't see people do it ever.
Yeah.
But guess what? You can mark my words, in due time, you're going to see people carrying their kids around to interviews if they feel need. A lot of people, man, they don't step out as far as being them. They still be kind. They still kind of be worried about what the next person going to say or how they going to feel. I just don't give a damn, man, because if you ain't been through what I've been through and just went through these obstacles, man, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. So with that being said, I was always just me, It'd be times, many times I'd be at Screw House when everybody rapping, I may be sitting in there playing a video game. I may just be sitting there chilling. Or it may be times everybody chilling and talking. I may be just sitting in there with Screw watching him mix. So it's like, I always just been my own person,
Right, definitely. When you were in that environment though, or what you're describing there, it just makes Houston at that time period, it makes it sound like the underground hip hop scene was just so alive with this whole Screw tape thing and everything at that time. How would you compare that to the rap scene these days, where it seems like so much stuff just basically takes place online? There are a ton of rappers coming out of Texas right now. Texas definitely having a moment right now, but how would you compare that sort of scene, like at that time when you fell in love with rap versus the way it is these days?
I'm honestly cool with it both ways. The difference of back then when Screw was living was he brought a lot of people from different parts of town and different neighborhoods together to where it became an alliance and a crew. Even if you may not necessarily deal with them, this crew on a regular, it still was some type of respect and some type of understanding there to where everybody became bonded to where it was just one big coalition. And then you had people, that's how you came out with the Fat Pats, the DJ Screws, the Big Mo's, the H.A.W.K's, the 3-2s, the Grace, the Mafios. It's so many, even down to Pimp C. Like, people didn't realize, man, even a lot of West Coast, because we have a lot of ties to the West Coast. So, you had people used to come out there like Sibo, Cube. It's like so many people were tied in different ways. But I think the difference of that now is it's just a newer generation. There's ways to get your music out way different, and it's a quicker process now.
Does it seem weird to you that there's less of a regional sound now because of the internet? That it's like this you don't hear music as often. They're like, oh, that's that Texas shit. That's that Texas
because
sound.
everybody's able to be exposed to all different sounds, and everybody, again, like I just said, even from Homeboys, everybody take and use here and there, whether they may acknowledge it or whether they may not. Everybody feed off different stuff, because if you walk in the club and you watching what everybody excited about, you're going to try and figure out what you need to do to make sure everybody get excited for you the same way. So it's just how it goes.
And it's a different age, because like if you were to look at that era, those screw tapes and everything, that's an era where there was literally no other music on earth that sounded anything like what he was doing at that time. Which is very different than like where hip hop now. When we talk about the next new artists out of Texas, we're talking about the artists that are resonating, that are doing millions of views on YouTube, where it's making sense to the people.
Yeah. And then the difference of the game nowadays, which it ended up switching for the best, because you have people like us who came from in the trunk era. So we actually sold physical hard copies. But now in this day and age, a certain amount of streams equal a sale. So it kind of worked both ways. Back then we just had to hustle a lot harder. And it made a lot more sense. But then as time went by, it started off first with YouTube. And then you seeing these artists starting to get all these views, and now they're starting to get ridiculous numbers as far as sales. But then the difference is, without the streams, it'd be kind of hard for a lot of people to get the physical album sales, because you can have somebody that may sell 10,000 physical sales but stream 35 million. You see what I'm saying? So
all the time.
Yeah. So it's just. There's so many different ways with it now, but it worked out because you work hard for those streams. I'd be proud to see them get them plaques off the streaming services, and just even the situations where you may not be big to be on radio or anything like that. These streaming services is what keep you alive, Then, for artists, you got Sound Exchange now. So now anytime somebody play anything of yours, you have the opportunity to where you getting paid for it. And it's so crazy. We were so into being into our own world, our own space, how we came up independently out the trunk. I didn't even really find out to Sound Exchange. Gazi, the one who put me on top of it from Empire, that's my bro. But I didn't even really find out about that till the last couple of years. So you got to think, man, when I went in, I had already lost damn near 10 years worth of money that I could have probably had, never knew nothing about.
Yeah, you kind of came out at a weird time, like between the CD age and the streaming age. There's a lot of artists like you who maybe never really got the money or the props that they maybe could have, in a way. Not to say that your career in any way hasn't been great, but it's just sort of a weird time period to fall into, where artists weren't necessarily just coming out and getting these big signing bonuses like at that time, because it was harder to monetize an artist.
Yeah, definitely, man. But that's also the gift and the curse. That was the curse part of it. But the gift is, I'm still the artist that's respected in every area. That's like even with so many of the old, you can go to a listening party with me, like the one I just had in New York, and you can have a DMX, Busta Rhymes, Mano, that are on legendary status. And then you also have some of the up and coming like Flip De Niro and other ones that show up. So it's like, I'm one of the ones that's kind of locked in all aspects. I'm respected by the old heads, because with the old heads, I was the younger one that always ran with the older heads. Then with the younger ones, I was the younger one that ran with the older heads, so they still look up to me the same too. So it just all worked.
Definitely. We just got Jay Prince Jr.'s first interview.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's my little brother. Shout out to Pops, man. Make sure y'all get his book. What I'm saying? Yeah. See, a lot of people understand me and Jay Prince Senior, we very, very similar, what I'm saying? And he always been supportive of everything I do, is vice versa, is me supportive with him. And man, the good thing with all of us, with Junior and everybody, is we all family. And I'm proud of them from Junior and Jazz, because a lot of people don't know, like, Jazz responsible for a lot of artists that's out there. Junior as well, like, we all do our thing as just a family. But just to think that Jazz would take Drake to Wayne, You know what I'm saying? To think that jazz kind of tied into so many different ways, you know, and jazz more on a kind of the mainstream industry. Then you got Junior who reach out and grab a lot of the up and coming, the underground, the street side.
Right.
Then you have Pops that just he tied in to everything. Like I think one of the biggest things with one of the biggest artists that Jay Prince have now is the YB and Amir. You know, like I just from a distance, and Corday, just watching them from a distance, them little dudes' followings is ridiculous.
Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed this throwback clip. If you did, show some support. Like, comment, subscribe, and head on over to nojumper.com if you want to support, or go on over to Snapchat and just search No Jumper. There's a link in the description. We've had our news show dropping a couple times per week, and I swear you're going to love it. Balling like an athlete, but got no jumper. Appreciate y'all.